Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Simon here, bringing you the movie of the saga of Tanya the Evil.
I really like Tanya's unreasonable way of speaking. Even when Mary literally confronts her and was like, "You killed my dad," Tanya's like, "But what did I do to you?" It's just so unreasonable. Not even just that, the way she even says like, "Oh, HQ just sent us a love letter." Seriously, I love it.
Yeah, the banter in this show is mad and it's really nicely written. It's like she's having banter with the audience. It's actually really sick. I like her conversations. I like the way she refers to things. I like the way that she's honest, but in a witty, sarcastic way. And she doesn't pull punches or tries and baby coats nothing for the team. Everyone knows that this is a show and she's there to play.
I feel like this movie is actually the first time that we have seen the true face of war. When it comes to this series, I don't think that they have shown it that well because Tanya's always sort of winning, and even when it's a dire situation, it's still kind of fine. And her team is always having such fun. But this time we saw a lot of grittiness. We saw people trampling on dead bodies of their own team because they have to continue fighting. We saw the never-ending exhaustion coming from everybody. We saw how terrible it can be, like with so many people just dying one after the other. I think that they really concentrated on the gritty side of war this time around.
We also saw in this film how they're actually starting to realize that Tanya is an actual problem. She is systematically shutting down and rubbing the faces, whatever they're using as the analog for the Allied forces. So she is a problem, she sees things before they happen, and she acts accordingly. That thing that they did on Moscow, what a P-take, fam. Like, what the hell was going on there? Like,
she said she was there to mock.
No, I understand that, but like, there's levels to this. It's one thing blowing up everything that is a government building and making the whole citizens scared and whatnot. It's another thing planting your flag in their capital city and making a propaganda video during it. It's like beating up someone and having Snapchat on while doing it. It was totally absurd, and that was the highest form of disrespect.
It was hilarious though. The singing of the national anthem. Oh. When Being X said to Tanya at the end of season 2, "How does it feel to be fighting the whole world?" He said it with his chest because he was not playing around this time. And I think that there were even outliers that Being X wasn't even expecting like that massive pervert, but it still worked in his favor.
So, I don't get what Being X's deal is. I really don't get it. Because what? You want the people who are fanatic about you to die? Because you keep sending them to the slaughter. Then again, Being X does have a fetish for lambs, so whatever. Look, let's break it down. He wants people to worship him again. However, every time they do, they die. They go against Tanya and it's a writer. The only one who hasn't died it's the scientist that gave Tanya her amped up amplifier. So, Being X, what's the end goal here, like? And you made her kill the daughter of the fanatic, so you can't even have another daughter or son or whatever to avenge them. So, like, come on, tell us the actual goal here.
Well, I think Being X actually has done sort of the right thing here because he gave Mary a lot of power. The downside is that I heard some people saying something like her magic is overflowing, almost as if it's hard on her body. And then on top of that, I'm just thinking that Being X has a different problem that we're not addressing. He seems to have a thing for crazy little girls.
I don't see that, but I can see why you're saying that, but I don't see that.
Mary has the same crazy as Tanya.
No, I agree with that. I as I said, I can see where you're coming from because them two were batshit crazy. Let's just be honest. But everyone else that Being X has touched has been an old man.
True, but they didn't get any decent power.
Yeah, Daddy did.
Not to this level, not as strong as Tanya. Being X gave Tanya the powers that Tanya has. Therefore, Being X is the one person that should understand completely exactly how strong Tanya is. And also how smart Tanya is because he's been battling her for 9 years.
Wait.
But he still didn't give Daddy, as you want to call him, significant power in order to overpower Tanya. He wasn't playing seriously. But the girls, they got the power though.
I get what you're saying. They got overpowered and overflowing with magic or miracles or whatever. That's cool. But being X is going hard. He's already said he can't handle the work he's got. So maybe this is all he can do. And also, are you trying to say that somehow they have free will, but somehow they don't at the same time? But that sounds contradictory. And I don't know how something can be followed that does that.
Okay. Well, there was something that disappointed me in this movie, and it was Mary, not Mary as a whole, don't get me wrong. It's when Mary seemed to realize that Tanya had been given the same powers that she has. She was praying and, the power was coming out of the gun. And I wanted to see a reaction to that. Why would God, who I'm praying to, who is supposed to be on my side, giving the same powers to the enemy? I felt like that should have definitely been addressed. It's not just any old person that has been given the same powers as you. It's the person who murdered your dad. I really feel like we should have had some kind of strong reaction there, and we didn't get it.
I agree with that. There was more levels to it as well. Like, even forget Mary, but her father, he should have realized, whoa, I'm strong, you're my enemy. Why can't we be friends? Like, there's clearly something in common here. Okay,
what?
I know about that friendship stuff wasn't gonna fly, but you know what I mean. Like,
no.
there should have been some sort of discussion or some sort of insight. And it's the one thing that I think the anime and movie lets down for me. It's not really a letdown. It's more like I've got questions that haven't been answered. How does the powers work? Why is it that Tanya doesn't believe and has powers, and these guys are fanatics and have powers? You're being X. You're saying that Tanya's the wrong one here, and yet you're loading them up with superpowers. Really and truly, if you wanted her to despair, you give her no powers and send her to the front line every single time.
Being X is saying that he wants Tanya to agree that he's God, but also that they're going to put Tanya in these situations and reincarnation will not be possible once she dies. So it kind of feels almost more like I want to toy with you for an entire life to punish you for not believing in me.
I don't know if that tracks for being X's character, but we don't know much about him. All we know is that, they're a megalomaniac who wants people to believe in them. Even though they put them in really bad situations all the time. I mean, how can you worship something like that?
I feel like Tanya keeps effing herself, because I feel like Tanya's like the epitome of people make plans and God laughs, because every time she's like, ah ha ha, B, I'm winning, something else happens. Now you're back to the front lines again. I feel like being X and Tanya are both like as bad as each other.
100%.
They're literally as bad as each other, and I feel like Tanya should be like on the same level as God so that they can really fight it out thoroughly, because it's just ridiculous. They're both messed up.
I mean, stubbornness wins, innit? Whoever buckles first loses. And Tanya's not losing this. She said, my aim is to survive. That is it. I put myself in the rear lines. Nope. I put myself on the front lines. Nope. Can I get a breather? Nope. Maybe
if you stop laughing and saying, yeah, being X, what are you going to do about it? Maybe if for once Tanya didn't do that, she might get a little bit longer on the rear end.
Whoa.
Stop it. Oh, seriously. My favourite part was when Tanya was shooting Mary up against the angel statue.
Oh, that was
because
beautiful.
I just felt like that was the biggest FU to God. Like, she does these little things such as the national anthem and burning their flags and replacing it with hers, the Empire's. Just doing all these little petty things. They're really petty.
Queen Penny.
But they're petty on a large scale, and I really appreciate that. Not in real life, but to watch, it's pretty entertaining.
I mean, that angel got shot in the head. It was a clean headshot through the amulet and the heart of the enemy.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Brilliant. I'm just sad that Mary sued it and died then.
But now we get to see her in season 2.
I get that, but still, like, it's a lot. Like, you got shot like 17 times.
Yeah, I know. Come on, but at the same time,
in the heart as well.
Yeah.
They got stabbed in the back.
But at the same time, she's a great adversary for Tanya, I feel. They're both the same age as well. There's actual bad blood between them beyond the war. And they have extremely different ideals in terms of what they believe with, like, God or being X. I think that it's great that we're going to see more of her in season 2 because Mary's actually a really good character.
Bruv, I've not seen any bad characters at all. And they're even bringing the battalion into it as well, making it fuller.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's starting to become an individual. And now that she's been given Salamander, whew, I can't wait.
Neither can I.
I can't believe you didn't put me on this earlier on.
I'm gonna slap you.
How can you only tell me about this now? You know it came out in 2017.
Alright guys, nobody call the police. If Big Boy Summer doesn't come back next week, you know why.
But really and truly, guys, if you made it this far, we really, really appreciate it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Peace.